Hi, this is Carlos Cousins, and the following question is inquiring about a passage that has a specific phrase, and we're trying to figure out exactly what that phrase implies. So, for this sort of thing, what you want to do is usually read the sentences before and after, but it happens to be on line one, so let's just look at the sentence right after the sentence in question. So, in a sense, it was as if she had stepped onto a stage. The lady of the house at the Everton estate was expected to play a specific role and had done so for as long as anyone could remember. Now, Josephine had to learn the part. Okay, so we're talking about Josephine here, stepping onto the stage, right? So it can be inferred that Josephine felt she had stepped onto a stage because she was not used to being the center of attention. This could be the case, but that's not quite what it says. It says specifically that she was expected to play a specific role, right? Um, because she was now the lady of the house. She was expected to play this role, and the lady of the house had done so for as long as she could remember. It's not necessarily that it's the attention, but it's the role that she has to play. Senses that she's being closely observed. This again makes a little bit more sense. Another thing to consider, if she's playing a specific role, it seems that people, of course, will expect her to fulfill that role and will be observing her to evaluate whether or not she's doing it. In fact, this answer choice is much better than the previous one, where it's not just the attention, it's whether or not people are observing her fulfill her responsibilities. Is so shocked by the unfamiliarity of her new home. Not quite sure of that. In fact, it doesn't seem very unfamiliar. She knows specifically what her roles are, what she should do, what the lady of the house is supposed to be like. That doesn't seem to be the source of the shock. Has worked hard in preparation for her role. That's not explicitly said, though it could be true. Um, we don't necessarily know anything just from that first expression there. Now, of course, as we see later, Josephine had to learn the part, but the reason that this was specified is because it wasn't clear alone from the fact that she had just stepped on a stage. So this we know from the later portion of the passage, and is seen as acting insincerely. Not necessarily. In fact, we have absolutely no idea of what other people saw her as doing. And though, this is on the third person, someone is describing what she's doing. Um, it's not necessarily that she's acting insincerely. It's just that this is a new role for her. We don't. This requires an assumption. So, answer choice E is not the best answer choice. It looks like B is the correct answer choice, and I hope that this helped explain why. Happy prepping.